We're here in Scottsdale at the legendary Westworld Arena for the 2023 Cactus Classic. What I love about the Run for a Million is it brings out the greatest horses and riders in the world. Somebody who's had a big hand in that is our current guest, Katie Schroeder from Equiflight. Katie, you're responsible for the logistics of getting these great horses from literally all over the world here to Scottsdale. How's that been for you?
It's just a walk in the park. No, it's been great, actually. It's our second year bringing horses over here for this show. And it starts months in advance. It's not something we just pop them on the plane and come over. There's a lot that goes into bringing these horses here. So it just shows how big this show has gotten, that people are willing to spend the money and the time to get these horses over here to go for the big prize.
Now let's talk a little bit about the logistics of how that works. But first, you're a South Texas girl. Grew up showing with legendary coach Steve Archer, among others. But you had a great career as a rider. Talk us through how you managed to work your love for these horses into a career and how you eventually came to buy this company, Equiflight, and what you've done with it. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But how does that even happen?
Gosh, I question that every day. No, it's horses have just been in my blood my whole life. So, I actually was born in England and started riding ponies over there and then moved to Texas and started with Steve and Andrea. And from there, it was just constant showing every weekend. We were the barn brats with Gunny Matheson and everybody. So it was probably one of the best moments of my life. And then went off to school. Tried to get away from horses, as we try, I think, at some point in our life, but then you find out it's in your blood. So came back to Texas A&M and rode on the team, was on the team, and then worked for the school after that. And after that was offered a job that I didn't even know existed of shipping horses internationally. And so did that for a few years in Oklahoma and then realized I really missed Texas. And moved back to Texas and started Equiflight 10 years ago now.
Amazing.
And it's crazy, huh? And but my everyday life, I think the connections I have with people from, 20 years ago, I still have, like with yourself, shipping some of your horses as well too overseas. So it's so great to be able to merge a passion of travel and a passion of horses together and connect people. That's what I was just talking about with somebody, that the horse is amazing how it connects so many different people in the world. That's what I love most, I think, about this industry.
I couldn't concur more. And one of the amazing things to me from a broker standpoint, we do ship quite a few horses overseas. It's the hardest thing in the world to get a horse to Helsinki, Finland, or pick your location. But we pick up the phone and call you, and it's all handled. He's going to arrive. He's going to go from Phoenix to Dallas. He's going to get quarantined there. He's going to be flown to Amsterdam. Then we've got a truck and trailer waiting. They'll deliver him to his new home in Helsinki. It just seems like to put that type of network together, it must take years. And it's amazing how seamlessly you guys make that transition.
I appreciate that. I really do.
Now, talk about some of these horses that have come here. What was their journey like? Is there a central location? Is there a hub in Europe where they fly from? And then are there quarantine restrictions? How does that work?
Yeah, so the horses we brought in were from Elementa. It's based right outside of Rome in Italy. And Miss Cecilia called and said she wanted to send 3 horses over for Filippo. And I'd say this started probably back in January, February time to get this started. And there's 2 ways of bringing horses into the United States. So we can either do what we call the longer version, where they come over well in advance and do a quarantine in the United States, and then they are considered U.S. horses. So once they're here, then they're free to go. They can go to any show, any barn. If they want to haul down the road to practice, they can. Or you can do the short term, which is what they decided to do. So with that, these horses left from Rome and drove to Frankfurt, Germany. That's kind of one of the main ports we fly from. We did a little bit of pre-export testing, but then they fly into LAX, right, about 6 hours from here. Do a quick little 2-day quarantine, which all horses have to do that come into the United States. And then they are now considered under USDA supervision because they did not do this full 30-day quarantine when they come into the country. So pretty much the USDA treats them as if they are positive for any disease, even though they're not. but they need to stay isolated. So they come in on a USDA sealed trailer. They have their own special stabling here at the barn. And the biggest thing is for the stallions, they want to make sure they don't breed anything here on the show, which
that would look bad.
That would not be good. So that's the route that they went. And so it really, I think it's been a good experience for them. It's different than last year. Last year we brought horses over ahead of time and they did do the long quarantine. So now they're kind of seeing it on the other side of, okay, is it better to do it the short-term version where they can come in, a week before the show, horses are fresh and ready to go and go show tomorrow.
I think it's really added something to the NRHA and the sport of reining in general, though, because we've seen invaders come in from overseas for a specific event. We saw Sierra Beck come in last year. In RBC and Derby, had to stay over there. The more of those riders come in, that's one less spot in the finals for one of the riders over here. But I feel like it really adds to what our sport is becoming, which is an international sport. And the way you're able to facilitate that and make that happen is really fascinating to me.
Thank you.
Personally, has this led to a lot of international travel as you kind of monitor the business? You get to go over there and set up accounts and vendors overseas. I think you'd have to love that.
Oh, for sure love it. We get to go to places and meet people, more importantly, that have got the most unique businesses. And it's not that we ship horses even just for these huge international events either. We get to ship horses for people that have saved money their whole life to send this one horse over. So that's really neat to see how many different stories there are in the world, how many different people all have that same connection of the love of the horse. So it's been great.
It really does make a big world a small world.
100%.
And we know that from the relationships we've developed with our international clients as well. It's when a horse goes over there to us, like part of the family went over there and moved in with them, so we always kind of tend to stay connected. Tell me one place you've been in your travels that you died to go back to and that it just really left a special place in your heart. I'm always fascinated by international travel.
I loved Switzerland. I would love to go see other parts of Switzerland. I mean, when we send horses over for the shows, we are quite busy, so we don't get a whole lot of time to go venture and see other places. But I would love to go back there and see, the other side of Switzerland, I'd say, from Geneva. But gosh, Normandy, France, that was beautiful, and just learning the history and there's so many places I still have left to see. So
Normandy, France, to me, the most meaningful trip I've ever made. To walk through where those soldiers walked through on D-Day. See the actual places and the newsreel footage and everything. It's a life changer. If you ever get a chance to go there, I'd recommend it here on the Travel Channel. Katie Schroeder from Equiflight, thank you so much for stopping by today and pulling the veil back a little bit on how some of these great horses get here. What a fascinating journey they've been on, and I know the owners that trust you with them are sleeping well at night because of it.
Thank you for having me.